Good evening and salutations, my Days of Lies fans. So, I guess we'll sit there and start off with the Marlena stuff. Marlena and Tate. Tate is throwing a birthday party, a little celebration for Sophia. And one of the things, when Marlena comes over and sees all this stuff, she's all, it's like, this is very pretty and stuff like that. Realizes that he is doing this for Sophia. And she's like, alright, long story short, don't mislead her. Just because you still want to be with Holly and everything like that, and you think that she just wants to be friends, she may not want to be friends, and you may be giving her the wrong impression. So you talk about that for a little bit. And unfortunately, their conversation's kind of cut short because he does sit there and, after talking about the whole Johnny thing and, where his head is at a little bit and why, on some level, he, it's not really to adopt their child. He's like, listen, it's cool because she's going to be turning 18 and we're just going to sit there and place the baby up for adoption since, she can legally do it and not have her parents' permission. And just as Marlene was like, Sophia comes over. Sophia comes over and they're talking and everything like that. And he gives her some cake or something. And he's, she's liking it and stuff like that. And he's like, hey, listen, if you like it so much, I can give you the recipe. And she's like, nah, it's cool. I'd rather just have you cook it for me on the regular. And at that point, he was like, yeah. At first, he was talking about how he was dizzy and kind of queasy a little bit, and I was like, are you just faking? Because, to kind of give her, a little hint, like we just friends. But then it happens again, and when she feels his head, notice that he's running a temperature. And so, at that point, she just leaves because, he's like, I don't want to get you sick. Now, it's kind of weird that it just came out of nowhere, but like with Cole on Young and the Restless, this is going to, it's not just, it's going to play into a more, it's more than just, I feel like it's more than just a simple cold or queasiness or whatever. So, you got Kevin that comes into the lab, and he's ready to sit there and take the drug. Then he realizes that the stuff is already measured. He's talking to Philip the whole time. And so now he's like, I have to sit there and kind of it's like broken up into components or whatever. So now you have to sit there and take each part to get the dose and make sure he does it just right. This way it's not noticeable. While that's going on, you already got Steve. You got Steve and you got Sean that's already about to sit there and break in. He didn't have time to sit there and mix it up properly, so he just took it and now he's in an alley. Long story short, he does wind up calling and getting a hold of Philip because Philip was sitting there talking to Xander about, just trying to, give him another chance or whatever. And, Xander at this point, he's just like, nah, I'm good. I mean, it's more than just, nah, I'm good. There's a lot of anger, a lot of coldness, and honestly, to tell you the truth, a lot of hurt. And that's the thing about Xander. Xander, he's I know he comes across as a hothead, but in this particular case, that fuel of hatred and anger is coming from a place of hurt. Anyway, after he gets done talking with Xander, he finds out from, Phyllis found out that, he didn't get the dough, he didn't get the whole vials. Now he has to sit there and make it pretty much outside. And to make matters worse, Jeffrey actually left the conference early and he was coming back tonight. So that means that he has to sit there and take all those ingredients, measure it right to get the dose, make sure that it's not noticeable, and get back in the lab before um, before Jeffrey gets back. Now, one of the things I didn't understand was Steve cut the feed, and he put like a little looping clip or whatever. So this way they have about like 10 minutes before to get in and out. What was Jeffrey planning on doing though? Like, how was he planning on getting past the cameras and stuff? Because it just seemed like he just got lucky that Steve was able to. It's like Steve practically helped him get through the cameras. So what was his plan? What was his plan? He doesn't even know, and granted, he doesn't even know. He thought it was just like a janitor or something. So what was his plan to get in? And more importantly, how is he going to get back in to sit there and put the drug back and do it without being noticed? Which, by the way, Philip is like, we're both going to be screwed. And I'm like, well, who's going to be screwed more? Because you're on the phone with him. He's the one that's actually out there, stealing this, well, essentially for you. So, yeah. Alex does try to bridge the gap between Philip and Xander, saying that, Victor would have wanted him to, work in the family fold. But Xander is so angry at this point. He's like, I'm not even going to give him a chance to screw me over. Because he pretty much is like, I don't trust myself. Like, I don't trust myself in my anger. If he does something like that again, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm not even going to sit there and put him in that position. Then he gets a visit from Paulina. Now, long story short, Paulina wants to make sure that Xander does not sue Chanel. Saying that it was an accident, and that she's been through all this stuff, and, like, she's lost a baby, and, she can't adopt and stuff like that. So, like, essentially she's like, why kick her when she's down? And I'm kind of just like, somebody could have died. Like, yeah, it didn't happen, and I guess in your eyes it's like, no harm, no foul. But, on top of the fact that Xander was like, this isn't the first time that the public got hurt because of Chanel's bakery. And I get it, she wants to sit there and protect her daughter, but the problem is, again, this was her fault and somebody could have died. And once again, Paulina comes in, swoops in, and makes sure Chanel does not have to sit there and suffer the consequences of her actions. This is the second time that you've done that. And you see where that got you. But Xander's like, okay, listen. Get Abe to sit there and swing the vote my way, and we'd be good. And Paulina would just like, the condition is because, Abe will feel some sort of way because Theo is, I don't know, I guess at Demera or works at Demera or something like that. So she's like, listen, if he can get a job here, then that will make it easier for Abe to sit there and vote his way. So you're like, all right, fine. So he does ultimately get what he wants. Sarah is still, alive. So, it is what it is. Because she's like, suing him, you already have a lot of money. And I'm like, it's not about the money. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, it's not about the money. It's literally about the consequences of your daughter's actions. But, it is what it is. Kayla's still snippy worried about Steve. Marlena is worried about John. And so, they kind of talk for a little bit. And on the way home, she gets a call from Shane talking about John's location. Now, from what I understand is that, the actor knew and everyone kind of knew where his health was going. So he kind of like signed off on this story. So, it's one of those things where it's like, it's being drawn out a little bit. And that's the part that kind of sucks in the sense of, knowing too much. Like, we know at this point that, the actor passed away and everything like that. But some people, surprisingly, don't have the internet and don't know. So it's like they're kind of, it's a very weird thing, right? I used to watch, well, I still do watch in the hospital, and so when an actor left or passed or whatever, we didn't know. We just knew that the story went a certain way, and it took a little longer to get there, but we didn't know why. Or at least I didn't know why. But now, with the internet, it's like, a lot. Like, I knew that night when he passed. So, but yeah, Sean and Steve get in there, realize the drug is gone, goes back to Kayla, and it's like, yeah, we got bad news. We got bad news. Somebody else already took the drug, and yeah. I was wondering which one should I record on. Should I record on my laptop or should I record on my phone? I hope that the quality of the sound, at least, is pretty damn good. I think the last thing is the Stephanie and Alex stuff, which didn't really add to much. I mean, she talks to Kayla for a little bit to try to get her to vote for Titan's Way, and long story short, Kayla's like, I don't want EJ to take the hospital. So, she's already kind of just being like, alright, I'd rather give it to Xander. But, at the end of the day, he's going to have to pitch it where it's like he's the lesser of two evils. Xander has a history. EJ has the history. So, in reality, it's one of the things that's like, they're both kind of bad in a sense. Like, if you really measure it up, I mean, they both done stuff, right? So it's up to you to decide who's worse. But at the end of the day, the hospital still needs to be saved. I don't know. It's kind of like the hospital is not really in a position to sit there and be picky. So... Oh, and then she talks to Alex, and long story short, Alex has an editor for her in case she actually wants to sit there and publish her work. Yeah. And that's essentially about it. I might have missed some stuff here or there. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do a live stream tonight because, got a late start, it's 5 soap operas, and I have to wake up super, super early. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do a live stream tonight. I will definitely post in the community tab in case, I do have some time to do it, but yeah, I still got about 4 more soap operas, and it's about 3 o'clock, so yeah, and at least another review, so we'll see, but anyway, I'll let people know in the community tab, so just, always check the community tab. Also, if you can share this video, that would really help because I've been enjoying doing Days of Our Lives reviews. B&B is a little more easier to do, and the numbers was actually a lot higher, so it kind of justified my efforts to do it. But B&B has also been kind of, and Days have actually been really good, so that's another reason why I've been doing these reviews, so it would definitely help the numbers out if you can share the videos, because that will actually help, and, it will also balance out the, live stream, because we mostly talk about General Hospital the most, and then it's Beyond the Gates, and then it's like B&B, and Days, and Y&R. So, I don't know. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I wish I had the time to essentially do a 5 and then do a live stream. Because now I can feel like I can get enough people from each soap opera fan base to come to the streams, and, the conversations could be a little more balanced. I mean, I don't want to do it in a way where it's like I'm just talking about one subject for a little bit, then move on to the next, and then to the next, and then somebody comes in late, they want to sit there and talk about a specific thing. I don't want to do it like that because I just don't, I don't know. I don't feel like it's flexible enough, but I feel like if I have enough of the fan bases from each show, then I can sit there and feel like it flushes it out a little bit. Because I kind of go where the chat goes. So that's another reason why I was like, let's try to get some more Days of Our Lives fans in these chats, in these live streams. So yeah, if you can share the video, that would help. Also, becoming a member, that will help as well. I do the exclusive videos for members. I do exclusive live streams for members. And when I do get some time, I will sit there and be doing shout outs for members, just to let people know that I really do appreciate the people that are members. So don't forget, it's just with 5 soaps, everything is a little more. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next video.